Hi, everyone. Today, we're going to be talking more about what to expect with the Trump administration. I also want to talk about what not to expect to happen. I think there's a reason to be fearful, but I don't want you to be overly fearful as well. Let's look at things as they are, not worse than they are. There might be some twists with the Trump administration. So you'll see that Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, they've been tasked with cutting the federal spending, and they've come out advocating for H-1B visas, saying that we need to have tech immigration. As many of you know, there's certain jobs that are not able to be filled. In the last Trump administration, we did see that they were starting to make H-1Bs more difficult. However, Elon Musk was not involved. Vivek Ramaswamy wasn't involved. So we have some different players here. Also, Sri Ram Krishnam, he's been asked by Trump to be an advisor for AI. So he's also advocating for tech workers. We know there's not enough U.S. tech workers, and that's what he stated as well, that we need to continue the H-1B program. And on December 28th, Trump himself also stated that the H-1B program was a good program. So what is going to continue to happen with the Trump administration, the types of cases you're still going to be able to file, you're still going to be able to file marriage-based green card, you're still going to be able to file J-1 waivers, you're still going to be able to file 601 waivers. There's a question here, is there going to be any changes? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. If you already have a case pending, like if you already have your I-601A waiver pending, you should expect business as usual. Now with I-601As and all kinds of cases, I do expect more requests for evidence. With employment-based immigration, national interest waivers, EB-1As, O-1 visas, we expect that's going to continue, but we also expect more scrutiny, more requests for evidence. Same thing with U visas, expect U visas to continue. Will it be harder? Yes. Will it get longer? Yes. So I think there's fear out there about, well, is immigration law just going to stop? And no, don't expect that to happen. There's a mandate for immigration law. Yes, there's going to be changes. Yes, it's going to be harder to get an application approved. Is it going to end completely? No. All right. Now I'm going to dive into some questions and answers. How long does it take for USCIS to reject a J-1 extreme hardship waiver or ask for RFE? Usually we'll see it anywhere after a few months to the 18th month mark of when they will issue the request for evidence. Right now, it's rare that we see them go straight to denial unless there's a glaring error. Usually what we'll see is a request for evidence first, and then if the request for evidence is not responded to appropriately, then we will see a denial. What they could be advocating with this administration is not going to RFE and going straight to denial. That's something yet to be seen. You've received a green card based on marriage and you've had it for 8 months and you have an opportunity to work abroad. How can you manage to work abroad and still get citizenship? There's one thing that I would recommend is filing for a reentry permit. The typical rule is if you're outside for more than 180 days, there's a presumption that you've abandoned your residency. Be prepared if you're out for more than that time to be questioned whether or not you've abandoned your residency. If you've been out for more than a year, they could argue your green card could be taken away. So if you apply for a reentry permit, although it does not permanently prevent your green card from being presumed abandoned, it's a strong form of evidence, along with making sure you demonstrate your home ties in the US. So some of the examples of home ties could be you're maintaining bank accounts, if you have a home, car still in the US. In terms of citizenship, you need to be in the United States more than 50% of the time in order to be able to apply for citizenship. There are some exceptions. For instance, if this is a government-related job, there are some exceptions to that. I just applied for a U visa. You're wondering how long it's taking. Well, we're getting cases approved from end of 2016. This isn't the bona fide application. This is the actual approval. I expect U visas to take more time with the Trump administration. So it could be anywhere from 8+ years for you to get your U visa. And then you're wondering if your kids to get citizenship, they're abroad. With the U visa process, your kids first have to get a green card and then apply for citizenship. You failed to obtain a J-1 waiver because you failed to secure a no objection statement. You were told there's no way to come back from this. So you could apply for exceptional hardship waiver. You could also reapply with the no objection statement. Also, something that's really important to note, Andrea, is the Department of State came up with a new skills list. A lot of countries were taken off of the skills list. Your country may not even be subject to the skills list anymore. I think there may be options. I look at other waivers that could be available to you, and you could connect with us at 916-613-3553 to go into this into more detail. I was refused a student visa. Is there any way I could visit the country? So it depended upon what the reason is that you were denied. It was probably because they didn't think you were going to return home, or that maybe they didn't think you had the funds to be able to continue to pursue your student visa program. Perhaps a visitor visa option could be an option. If you already have a bachelor's degree, you could look at applying for a H-1B. That could be another option as well. I'm a US soldier and I want to apply for my daughter. Is the process simple? You could apply for your daughter if you're a US citizen or a lawful permanent resident. Is the process simple? Well, immigration law looks like it could be easy. It's what you don't know that you don't know that could create the problem. So if you are very good at reading instructions and researching immigration law, it's possible to do it yourself. With the Trump administration, things are going to get harder and more complicated, so it would be recommended to get counsel. And the affidavit of support requirements, I predict, going to be more complicated, like they were with the last administration, more stringent as well. When filing an extreme hardship waiver, if we only mention one condition why the US citizen can't go home to their country and miss out the part about leaving without the US citizen, is that a denial or a RFE? That's a really good question. With the J1 exceptional hardship waiver, you need to demonstrate that you're separated or both of you went to the home country. And this is exceptional hardship, just not normal hardship. So that's what we do in our narrative, explain like, what is that exceptional hardship going to be? So the question here is, well, what if you only have one of those? Pre-Trump, that is going to result usually in a request for evidence. With Trump, we could see that there could be a straight denial. My wife is a green card holder. I'm on an F1 visa. Here, can you tell me the process? The process for that could be applying for a marriage-based green card. Here, if your spouse is a green card holder, the priority date needs to be current in order to file the I-130 and the 485 at the same time. So if the priority date's not current, you could file for an I-130 initially. When the priority date's current, then file for the 485 and make sure that you continue to stay in lawful status on your F1 visa. What if the non-US citizen mom has a genetic medical condition and the baby is on the way to be born in the US? Is an extreme hardship waiver possible? Doctors are advising that birth mom and baby needs special. In that situation, the hardship is to the qualifying relative. If you did have a US citizen child and that US citizen child needs specialized care and the mom's condition impacts the US citizen child, then we like to talk about that in our applications, because it's all about how that qualifying relative is going to be impacted. And we can talk about how the other family members' conditions could affect the US citizen, but all needs to be tied into the US citizen. Okay, on that, we're gonna call it a wrap. If you wanna connect with us, you can reach out to us at 916-613-3553. By being here, you're bettering yourself. By bettering yourself, you're bettering your family. And by bettering your family, you're bettering the world. Bye for now.